obviously a big night for the Hurricanes as well. Cam Ward goes #1 overall to the Tennessee Titans. You wouldn't know it if you watched the broadcast. I mean, like, nobody paid attention. They didn't. Dude, when is the last time somebody got drafted #1 overall and ESPN didn't air the interview?
Right.
Never. When does that happen?
Never
what
has that
a
happened.
smack in the dude. Here's the thing that I'm annoyed by, right? I get it. The Shedeur Sanders thing is a sexy topic because of his star power, his father. He's dropping. And obviously, Mel Kiper felt very strongly this entire time that Shedeur is better than Cam Ward. However, one, if you tell me that they're doing it for ratings, it's the NFL draft. The NFL doesn't need ratings poll. They're go and even if you dial it back to 60%, your ratings are going to be through the roof. It was like 80% Shedeur Sanders yesterday. It's all they talked about.
Right.
And for Cam Ward to have the journey that he did, 0 stars at
I think that's the biggest
#1 pick.
Right. I think that's the biggest story of the draft to me. That when you look up and down the draft, all these 5 stars, all these NIL guys, all these guys coming in with all this acclaim, top 5, top 1, top 100, and all this. And I think for all of college sports, the Cam Ward story should be told.
Yes.
Because what it does is, if you're not a 5-star, if you're not a guy getting NIL, it doesn't mean you can't make it. And I think that is the most important part of that whole story that got lost because, and keep in mind, I would say this, that story and Cam Ward's story can be told at any time. No, hear me out. But this going on with the draft can't. Me personally, I would have took a break to tell the Cam Ward story. So, because guess what? The 5 or 10 minutes that you would have taken telling that story, the draft is still not going to be anywhere further along than if you were to talk about something else.
I just thought it was so ridiculous, man. Like it was basically just swept over. The kid was incredible this past year. It's not like he wasn't amazing. He was a Heisman finalist this year.
Right.
I understand the Travis Hunter thing also like happened in the fold of it, but like again, they're gonna make the pick when they make the pick. Like Cam Ward didn't get to Roger Goodell before they were like, all right, enough of that. We knew that was gonna be all right. You guys knew it. We can't see his moment.
But now question. And somebody pointed this out. You think the trade kind of threw him off a little bit?
No, because they never went. Usually they'll go back to it. Like
I got you. You're right. But I'm gonna tell you, so much in this world, in this life, we tell the story of the person that already has it and gets more. We never tell the story of the guy who built it from ashes, right? And that is this Cam Ward story should inspire more kids to bust their ass in college, more kids to bust their ass as youths, because everybody's not going to be NIL. Everybody's not going to be 5-star. Everybody's not going to get a major college scholarship, but it doesn't mean you can't make it. And this is the story that needs to be told, simply because it is a success story, right? The thing about Cam Ward, the success story is not him being the first pick. The success story is all the years in the different schools he went through to get to this point. That's the success story. And I think they missed the ball by not telling that story, because that is, for lack of a better word, what the American dream is. Busting your butt to get somewhere. We all love that story because guess what? All the kids playing football and all the kids, he was one of you. He wasn't the guy who was 6 foot in the 10th grade that was 240 and was just dominant from the beginning of his football career to the end. He wasn't Jadeveon Clowney, right? That story's easy to tell. Well, this is a story that is very important to tell as far as sports, because all we talk about in sports is grit and determination and whatever. There is nothing that tells that story in sports more than the Cam Ward story. And I wish that they would have taken advantage of that.
For sure. And the other thing that was annoying about it is, like, they kept saying throughout this whole draft process, like, well, Cam would have been the 6th quarterback taken, that he would have been the dude. You don't know that. You don't know how he would have impressed that way, because first of all, you guys are basically telling me this guy, based on your draft process, was the #1 quarterback in the league and led the #1 offense, with his best weapon being a 3rd-round tight end. That's what you're telling me. And the idea that by the end of this, the Titans, who were getting thrown picks left and right by the Giants to try and move up to get him, they said, nah. You want to know why? Because everybody who's met this kid has, like, I don't know, there's something about him. He's going to take over our franchise. It's the same thing that they had down here, and he's going to do the same damn thing in the NFL. And they were just like, whatever.
I think the most important thing that players, coaches, parents, that everybody can get from the Cam Ward story is not that he ended up being the #1 pick. Go look at how he's handled himself from the beginning of that journey to now. Go look how he handled himself at the draft, before the draft, in Miami, at Washington. Was it Washington State? Washington State. Go look at how this young man has handled himself. And I think with all these prima donnas, with all these entitled kids, with all this story needs to be told, because he was not that. I'm so sick of hearing uncles and parents and whatever. The first thing they talk about with their kid or their nephew or their son is NIL. That's the first thing they talk about. They don't talk about the talent. They don't talk about the work. They don't talk about how they want their family member to handle themselves. And I would say, when you see, if anything, when you see how you respond and handle stuff, and somebody said handling yourself doesn't win games. It doesn't. But what it does do, it does help you get through the tough times and stay focused and continue to work and not quit or complain about everybody on your team like some of these guys do now. So it does matter.
We'll take a break. Tickle Leroy's phone for you next.